welcome to the Multimedia SIG. I had to think about what's going on today. It's
Whatever we are.
whatever we are. We're a group here in Green Valley. We don't know what's going on. Anyway, it is Monday, April 11th. As you can see in the club, we have a bunch of people today, which is wonderful. We have all kinds of videos to share today. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with Pat. And Pat was unable to come to Toy Story. He was traveling, but he had a video that he sent to me. And so, Pat, why don't you tell us about it, and then I will share that for you.
Okay, we were on a trip and we went to Florida, and one of my wife's bucket list items was to take an airboat ride. In conjunction with that, about 6 months ago, maybe 8 months ago, I bought a gimbaled camera that I was enamored with because it's made by the same company as my drone, which is a DJI Mavic Air 2. And I was really fascinated by how well the gimbal worked. So Kevin can show the video and then we can talk about the device. But basically this is a handheld device that is gimbaled.
All right, here we go.
To the ones that were shown earlier.
Okay, Doug, now you can kill it. Oh, hang on. Let me do that again. My bad.
Got no sound.
Yeah, exactly. He has no sound, but I have to get back here. Okay, here we go. Okay. There, the quality of that is absolutely amazing. The
The
stability
stability is
and
what
the culvert,
fascinated me.
thinking that bouncy,
I
yeah,
know how that boat vibrates. I've been on them,
yeah.
constant, especially in the areas where oh my God, they're like, and that thing was stable.
Here's the
Yeah.
camera. I don't know if you can see it or not.
Oh, yeah, we, Pat,
Yeah,
it's amazing
the
something
camera.
so small, good.
The trick, I think, is this gimbal camera here,
Yep.
and DJI makes it, and it's the same one they have on the drones. And you turn it on, it pops right around. The only downside is it's got a little tiny screen, but you can have a selfie stick that you can attach your phone to, and there's an app, so you can actually attach this to the selfie stick.
Oh,
And for this trip that I took, I didn't want to take that stick because I didn't know if I would be sticking the camera up in front of the guy's eyes or what. But anyway, I just held it and it worked really good, and I'm pleased with the video. It can take higher quality video, but this was just 1080. And I didn't use this little gizmo, but this is a remote mic that has a, I don't know, you guys call them a rat, but this looks like more like a mouse, head mouse. So this can be pinned on somebody's collar if you're doing like a vlog or something, you can talk to them. And this transmits to this guy, and so it can be recorded at the same time. And it records in stereo. So, I mean, for a tiny package that this is, it weighs something like 4 ounces. It's a nice little thing. You can get the base model for about $400 on Amazon, and for a few hundred more, you can get all kinds of little extra goodies, of course. I bought the handlebar attachment, and I've used it on my bicycle. Used it on that boat. I've used it a couple other different times. It's not something you'd use every day, but if you're in a situation where your motion is going on and you want to catch some of that motion, then it's a good little device, similar to the ones that were shown. I watched the video you guys made, and I also had one of those that Todd was showing, and I agree with the comments about how heavy it was, and comparing 4 pounds plus the weight of the camera to 4 ounces is no comparison at all. So it's a fun little device.
well, thanks for
Any
that, Pat.
questions?
Does anybody, questions or comments for Pat on his little gimbal?
Is there a model number or anything?
What's that
Yes,
model
it's
number
called-
on that?
It's called a DJI Pocket 2.
Pocket 2.
Yeah.
Hey, thanks for that. Grace, why don't you go ahead and share your video while we've got that going on, and then we'll have some from here.
Yeah, sorry, I had a coughing spell.
Oh,
I came home with a cold, and
uh-oh.
not something I wanted to share with you.
At least we can't catch it visually.
That's true.
Right. Okay, this is just something I threw together this morning when I saw that it was snowing. Royce's kids have outdone me, but anyway, this was just unusual, historic, because I don't get snow this time of year here.
North Valley areas up through Southwest Washington. Central Valley has just seen rain, and I do think it'll somewhat stay that way. Some rain and snow showers mixing together in that region, but nothing like the accumulation we've had up here. And again, you're going to get some accumulation out of this one.
it looks like you had fun with that. Did you for that?
Did I what?
Did you use your gimbal to shoot that video?
No, I just handheld it.
Did you really? It looked
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah. And like I say, there wasn't that much compared to what Royce's had up there, because we're at probably about a 200-foot level. And the West Hills are over 1,000 to 1,100 feet. They were getting about 3 inches. And obviously it's snagged and snared up all kinds of traffic problems. And because the flakes were so big and wet, and the trees are vulnerable now because they've got, they're leafing out and everything, that there were all kinds of limbs and trees that went down with power outages and stuff. So that was my little get up before breakfast video.
I'd say on that, and considering that you did it so quick, and it worked out pretty good.
Oh.
Thank you for sharing that with us.
You're welcome. You're the only ones that'll see it, probably.
We're having some connectivity issues here at the club, and we're going to end up having to, if you'll send me that video, I can insert it in the video when we do this.
Okay.
Because we're up, it's on us, it's not on. So it's us, not you. Okay. Let's see. Well, I gotta see who else we have. We got videos. Well, Larry's got a video. Let's get that going. Larry, why don't you tell us about it?
There was some talk about what do we do with portrait images in a wide screen, and I've been working on something. The reason I figure I'm going to make this is because this minute took me most of the afternoon yesterday just trying some different approaches. So there are just 3 approaches I took, and obviously I think the last one is I'll stay with.
Okay. That. Here we go. There's no sound, folks.
No.
Ooh, no.
Oh, yeah, I like that.
Very nice.
I like that last one, Larry. That really does it.
Yeah.
Every which way.
Could
You know,
you
go ahead.
could you read the text on
Yeah.
those?
Yeah.
Because I can't read,
Yeah.
couldn't read it at all.
Here at the club, it looks, like I said, when we do YouTube, insert that video. It looks really, I mean, the first one was nice. You had a little space in the as they would come up. The second one with it together or butted together made it a little confusing. But the third one I thought was the best. What do you think, Phil? You didn't like it?
No, absolutely. The third one was and you started with a good graphic. That's
Yeah,
why.
that's
and I would actually hold up with the idea of putting the borders on that in front is perfect. And 3 panels there would the audience. I thought it was really good.
For the first read it was too fast.
Yeah.
Well, you
I
didn't-
can't read that.
Long enough to
Yeah.
read them. You're
Yeah.
right. But
Well-
he was just trying. You were just
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
just wanted to see what would go.
It's nice to experiment and
Yeah,
try some
yeah,
things and sometimes something, and at first, I think this is great, and then you do a couple variations, and then you get like to the last one, you're like, that's the ticket.
Well, that's why I started this video about 3 or 5 years ago.
And when I was young and stupid, I dived on the Virginia. I've been down.
No
to the
kidding,
lake.
is that right?
Yeah.
Okay.
20 years ago, but
You're young, you were stupid.
You're the big voiceover guy.
I'm sorry?
I'm just asking.
I understand.
You're the big voiceover guy, so how would you really use that? Would
Oh.
you have read that?
I've got I'm working on, and I think I can around some of those things. The basic story is the great dangerous, a lot of ships sunk and others died. Now, lighthouses. The title is Lighthouses of the Bruce.
Ah,
Now, going back to the question, would you read what we
Oh,
saw
no,
on screen?
No.
You would just have some music
Yeah,
or something
no,
underneath?
I have text or a script, but.
Would you say, I guess what I'm saying is,
No.
would you say the same thing?
No.
Would that confuse the person watching it that in that video, if I that real quick?
Anyway, answer to the question about
Yeah.
would I read what's there?
Yeah,
No, my approach is flood with information, keep them busy.
right.
So what's on the screen is going to be different from what I'm saying.
So I guess the question is,
More
would that be
confusing.
confusing? You're hearing something and you're trying to read,
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
I think give an impression
Yeah.
that
Of
the
what's going
waters
on.
are very dangerous. And
Okay,
here's the history,
Okay.
rather than going through,
Yeah.
then on August 4th. Well, you know, that
right,
kind
right,
of-
right. Okay, all right, well, that's fine.
That's why these are just extra.
I gotcha. Okay,
where you took the portrait,
Yeah.
treated it.
Yeah.
Because that's always been a bugaboo for me,
Yeah.
is to
well,
figure out, with the exception of stupid bars on this. side,
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Well,
Well, so many museums have graphics like that.
that's right.
Yeah,
well,
that's it.
Shoot them and then what do you
Right.
do with them?
yeah, that was from a museum in one.
Yeah,
sure.
You have to use them somehow.
Okay. Well, nice. I like out
Those
there
are good.
experimenting and trying.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Very good.
Well, Gene, something to share. Gene, why don't you talk about this?
Yeah, let me share the background with you really. It's only like 2 minutes long. I was looking for a video editor for brand. What do you do for somebody who just started dabbling and not scare them away? So I asked one of my granddaughters who are, teeny boppers, and they said, well, Windows 11 has a video editor built in it, a new one. So I went and opened up 11, and sure, there's a video editor called ClipChamp. So I did a little research, and Microsoft bought the whole company out in California so they could use this product. It's an online editor. It's not really on your machine except when it compiles. And they put the stuff in with it. They put speech hello in with it for free. So you have 25 voice and type text in, and it will read them back. They put in a whole piece of, I'm just going to call them background videos. You can use in the background. Music, tons of it. There's all kinds of little extra things. Now, it's free. The lower quality version is free. There's no watermark or anything else. But if you want to get up to the higher quality ones, there's a monthly.
When you
780 DPI instead is the best quality you can get in the free one.
Oh,
720. I know. Yeah, but when you pay, you can step up to
1080 or
Yeah.
whatever. Okay.
But I took the that I made, and then I stuck it in another editor and re-exported it. It looked a lot better.
Is it a gift that keeps on giving?
Yeah,
No, I mean, do you have to pay monthly?
yeah.
If
It's one
you
of
have
the-
the pre-
it's a subscription. Yeah, no.
Yeah,
And
that's
I
what
hate those.
Microsoft, they're trying to do that.
Okay.
Take a look and you'll see.
All right. All right, here we go. Let's try it and see what Gene put together.
COVID crippled the GVR Camera Club's face-to-face learning activities. The club is moving toward blended activities. Blended learning activities are offered online and in person at the same time. Some special interest groups are already doing blended learning activities. Let's take a look at one.
Hey everybody, welcome to the Multimedia SIG. It is March 14th. As you can see, we are here at the clubhouse. We've got a great crew today. And if you are in Green Valley, please join us. Come out. You know, we meet on the second and the fourth Mondays of the month. So anyway, we'll get rocking and rolling here. Does anybody have any sort of comment or goodie before we get this party started? Any news? Okay, we're good to go. Besides, Todd's got a couple videos to share. Does anybody else that's online have any videos to share?
When will the GVR Camera Club start using blended learning activities? Probably not until the fall of 2022, and not all activities will be blended, although the club will encourage blended learning. The club will be setting up blended learning activities over the summer. Get ready. The club will most likely use a flipped classroom model. Attendees will watch a pre-recorded or interactive module on Zoom, followed by a hands-on classroom experience.
So now
The whole purpose
is that narration one that's taken from what you've written?
Yes, I just typed that in, and that's the worst, honestly, of the potential voices. Most of them sound better. I've got this one with this, it just makes you listen to it, you know. They're all built in. I understand that Microsoft got it from, which is a company that does that.
Yeah.
That's where they got the voice box. The background videos you saw with the classroom and the girl talk, they're all taken out of, they're all built in through this list of huge collection of what are potential background videos, and stick one in. So the purpose of me playing with it was to see, was this worth exploring at any level? And most definitely I would use pieces out of it. I'd go and I'd use that,
Sure.
you know, and then just re-record it in an audio recorder. I would use some stuff. It looks good, you know. But for a brand new who's never done any video editing, this is nice.
It was
And
easy to use.
Easy to use, and it's traditional. It has a window with the materials it has a has a timeline, you know.
Okay.
It keeps you in that video editing tradition. If from this you want to step up to something else, it doesn't look foreign. This might be a good starting. I just threw it all out there so everybody can take a look at it. If you haven't, take a look at Clipchamp, it's in there somewhere. If it's not, you can simply add it from the Microsoft.
So in a sense, you're still editing, meaning that the program is importing these items, you're assembling it and
exactly.
actually doing it.
Yes, and
Okay.
you cut and you can move, you know, it's
Okay.
all the stuff you would do. I don't think it's as highly sophisticated, but it's
Sure.
there. You know, it principle. I was looking for starting stuff, you know. With this SIG, I don't know if you guys know this, but this is the fastest growing one we've got. I mean,
It
yeah.
And it's the best too.
You have a higher attendance in person and online than any of the other things. No, that's interesting.
Well, that program, I was completely automated and push in
No.
this parameters and then it
No, it's
automatically.
just extra stuff that
Yeah.
lets you import that's so
Sure.
cool. You know, that they put in there as a package.
Nice.
And just
Yeah.
the soundtrack I had, and like in all video editors, I laid the last soundtrack of the music in the
Right.
bottom. And as I was trying to dock, I screwed it up because I moved the soundtrack.
Sure.
No, but I did. Only moved over a little tiny. And screwed.
Sure.
The only problem with those text to audio systems is that the voices, every word is clipped.
Yeah.
It's like, you know, they stop. I don't know why they can't make,
Well-
they can't get them to flow.
Well, the
No,
other,
they-
I don't know.
I think the other thing that I notice is that the natural pauses in
Right,
it's saying it.
because the computer doesn't.
The computer, whereas you could probably, but this
You can put
involves
commas.
well
and
and
make
or
it good. Yeah.
move it a little bit just to give it a little.
I did that when I put together some.
Yeah.
I didn't want to do voiceover, so I went to computerized voices, but that's what I ended up doing. Wasn't very sophisticated, but I slowed the speech down.
Sure.
You have that commas in, they would call pauses in different spots for different emphasis.
Nice.
Just one step up.
Eventually, it'll all be that way.
Yeah,
They're getting better because the first I used, I did that at Thanksgiving, I did it, Ryan's video.
Right.
And it was definitely, you could tell it was a computer. I mean,
yeah.
but it's still a little bit computery, but it has some voices in there.
It wasn't bad.
It wasn't bad.
It wasn't
and
bad.
And it's the worst 20 that are on there.
Really?
Yeah, the other ones are, there's some really there, you really have to think about it to know that they're computer generated.
Nice.
Yeah,
Well,
Well,
that's
interesting, Gene.
it's something to play with.
well, like you said, for somebody that maybe has never put something together, and the best part, which we always love, to try something, and then if you like the program, you can advance or go to another program. So,
And like I said, it keeps I don't know how to describe it, the components of all the editing programs, you know, that
sure,
are in front of you. So it's, when you step up to something else, it doesn't look alien.
sure. Well, there you.
And I'm always afraid to do voice. I'm a big fan of computer voices. Memorial services
Yeah.
with the voice talking. They use kids and women and men. It was, you could, technical eye or ear, you could tell that most people couldn't.
Sure.
So it was like, okay.
I mean, who that was, right?
Yeah, it was like, okay. But then I didn't have to ask my, grandkids to do voiceover and then get
Sure.
people to do it. It's like, man, it just.
Poor Brian with me, and I got things. Times he died of boredom. Finally he went home and he sent Susan to get a teleprompter. Remember?
Yeah,
They had enough of me, they got a teleprompter. He said,
Nice.
"I'll do it." So, doing the
Sure.
the video. Easy, that's why there's people who professionally just do that,
Right here, Larry is one of another.
When I worked in public schools, we had to do in-house stuff. And we had a local preacher that we hired.
Oh,
And a
there you
guy,
go.
yeah, from a church down. We hire him, hour he was through, his voice, he come in and do the narrations.
that's a great title, The Church Down the Street.
You know what, that's a thought. I just thought of that.
I have got a video to share. This is, mine has got a rental property, alley. And so I went over to the house for them for, is it VRBO? So anyway, the thing that was interesting, the person had said to me, they had taken their own pictures with their people were renting this place and saying, geez, your pictures aren't doing this place justice. It's a nice place. So I took a bunch of photos, and then I thought, well, hell, for class, I might as well slideshow,
Sure.
and possibly we can put this on. So anyway, this is my little property. So there you go.
Little saturation work there.
You know what, actually, well, if you look at it we were talking about, if you look at the monitor, the TV in the clubhouse is oversaturated, contrast a little higher in contrast. So it's a little jacked up more than you would see it
I
on.
liked it. I thought
I thought it
it
was
was
good. The only thing I would do is I would put some supers on there, just a few, like bedroom 1, bedroom 2.
Oh, that's not a bad idea.
Oh, yeah.
Like
two,
that.
because that's what
Yeah.
they're interested in. You know, whatever. And they know what a kitchen is, so you don't need to. do
Yeah,
that.
but I like that idea.
But I like the idea that you went in and you pictures of things that when you walk in the house, they're in your mind, but you don't think like those ducks, you know, on the table.
Yeah,
You know, they are impact of walking into a house, taking pictures. You don't think of that.
The mountain view was, I probably would have emphasized that more.
Yeah.
The view, because I saw it in the.
Right.
But then you put it in the. It was perfect.
Yeah, that's part of the thing when I went around and I shot all the room shots first. And then I said, okay, now I want to go each room and get some details in each of the rooms just to kind of those little touches that they had.
Oh, that'll sell.
Yeah. Oh,
How much lighting work did you do on that shot?
It's all available.
It was
all available light.
And butter television.
Well, that's all my doing in Photoshop.
Oh,
And all
okay.
of the, if I show that, I'll go back on here. What I ended up doing is I ended up going in any room shot where there was a TV. So I basically went in Photoshop and dropped in a photo. And so in like at the beginning, the same thing there did the same thing. Why just have a black
Yeah.
screen?
Yeah.
And especially with stills, you have to add that element. So I just took some, dropped them every room. I did that, and I think it's a subtle thing. People aren't really. They're looking at
Good
that.
eye was. Same thing.
So there you go.
See, I like you blended the lights here in these still pictures of the lamp and the outdoor. It makes it feel warm and comfortable.
Yes.
It does.
You know, is the idea of it.
Well, here's the other trick too on this. That's also a composite.
Stacking them, yeah.
I've taken the outside. Well,
Right.
meaning the camera's on a tripod. I'm shooting the room. When I shoot the room, it blows out the windows, whatever's outside. Well, then I expose for the windows, and then I go in Photoshop and strip in the windows. That on any shot, and then like on the next one, right there, the camera way down because I want with the mountains because it's like your view.
That's
Yeah.
right.
So anyway, so that's one of it too.
So Kevin, that's
Dean's talking about the highlight things. I would try and make them a lot, keep the whole thing a little shorter.
Or
Yeah,
shorten it up.
I person was long.
Yeah, I
There
would.
was it was very, from a photogenic point of view,
Sure,
it was long and it lingered too long in some of the shots. but-
sure.
And the other thing was like GVR, pool shots, they can do those too, but maybe that's known.
Well, if they're not members of GVR, they're not going to be.
Well, I mean, tenants, I mean, you can get a card and all that, but anyway,
Not GVR. Right?
Yeah, but I have to buy it.
yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
So-
you can get in.
Okay.
Renters can get in.
Okay.
Expensive, you know.
So anyway, this was just kind of an afterthought in terms of the still photography, and then I thought, well, heck, I can put and make something kind of fun.
And I'm fishing for the technical term, the
right.
technique of moving in and out
Mhm.
of the picture and stuff. And enhances it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
well,
Well,
you're doing it all in Photoshop, or you're doing it all in the editor.
everything is in
weren't-
editing.
You weren't doing a rail cam on.
No. Done in editing and
Yeah,
post, still photography and moving in the editor.
No, it's nice, really nice job.
Well, thank you.
And
Think
and
it's
the
sold.
movement is slow, so. for
Yes.
people
It's all-
just nice and slow, not very much movement.
So
Sure.
So-
It's
yeah. So
the time, apparently not as much in the summertime, but
Yeah.
they had somebody in there for 6 months. They just were out. We had shooted on April 1st. 2 hours later,
Oh,
runners were coming back. Some other runners were coming in. So anyway,
So Kevin, that
Go
was
ahead.
that was interesting to see, because obviously I just sold my place down there, and the realtor had a photographer come in to take the pictures. I was watching what he was doing and so forth. And he was using, obviously, his camera on a tripod. I think he had a 24 millimeter lens that he was using. And he was also using a bounce flash off of the ceiling, which made our place look really bright and
Sure.
sunny almost. Well, not, it wasn't that warm because it was a bounce flash, but it lit up the rooms. And I mean, yours looked really nice and warm and cozy for a winter shot. Anyway, I thought he did a nice job of editing, because obviously when you're using a 24 millimeter lens, you've got some perspective problems, and he corrected all of those, because none of the walls were caving in, because I was familiar with that. They would have pulled in. So anyway, those you can look up my address and see what they are.
I do.
Okay, Arlene, you have something to share?
Well, I don't know if you guys already saw Dale Chihuly last video that I made, or the cartoon animation that I wrote. I can't remember which one I showed you, or if I showed any of them to you. Do you remember any of them?
You showed the medical
The-
and to us.
That's the
All right, so-
medical one.
Company.
Sorry.
Yes.
All right. So, do you want to see the cartoon that I
Let's-
wrote and
And
animated?
all-
Oh my gosh, where am I? And how did I end up here? And what started me on this adventure? I guess I better start at the beginning. It all started when I bought my new gaming computer a few weeks ago, and buying Adobe Creative Cloud with all the new programs to learn and how to use all the bells and whistles that came with it. At this age, it's harder to learn new software with all the sliders and buttons you need to master. As I was playing around with one of the gaming buttons, I touched something and saw an incredible flash of light in front of me. When I opened my eyes, I blinked several times. I saw an incredibly beautiful world in front of me. Where am I? I saw beautiful ice-capped mountains and lakes, and lots of trees and flowers. Are those houses over there? Where is this place? Oh my gosh! Is that a horse too? Wow! Oh no! Did I push the wrong button and get transported inside my computer? After all, this is a gaming computer. As I looked around, I saw houses in the far distance and a lovely pebbled path. I think I'll take it and see where it leads. Maybe there are others like me who got transported here by mistake. As I started down the path and got close to a beautiful horse, I wondered whose came. I was just about to get a drink of water from the beautiful little lake I ran across when I looked down and didn't recognize myself. I'm a completely different person. I'm young. I'm a young schoolgirl with lots and lots and lots of curls. Wow, this is fun shaking my head. Wow, look at those curls move. Well, I wouldn't mind being younger, but I look like Goldilocks. Unbelievable. What a change. I think I'm going to like being Goldilocks and having lots of curls to shake. After pondering my future and wondering about how I'm going to survive here, I continued down the path, which was really quite beautiful and relaxing. I saw lots of birds and butterflies and some very cute rabbits. If I have to stay here, I guess it wouldn't be that bad. I was noticing lots of pollen in the air and started to sneeze. All of a sudden, rose petals were coming out of my mouth. Amazing. I can't do that back in reality. I wonder if I have any other abilities. Why, yes, I do. I can blow fire out of my mouth as well. Unbelievable. I could open my own one-girl circus back home. What else can I do? Oh my gosh, I can change into a different character. I guess I shouldn't have thought about how cute those horses and bunnies were, because I transformed into a unicorn of sorts. Anyway, I'm really getting upset and anxious, and somehow I must have pushed another button because I'm falling into an abyss. Oh no! Hope I don't have to stay whatever creature I transformed into. I want to have curls again and have fun shaking my head and call myself Jazz. Jazz, come back.
Very nice. Can you tell us a little bit about the process, Arlene, of what you're doing, all the steps involved
How
to
many
make
weeks
that?
it took you to do it?
Oh, that took at least 50 hours, at least.
Wow.
Oh, at least. And so what I had to do was I wrote the story, and then I had to find, you know, the effects, sound effects and special effects. And, and then I had maybe tried to make special effects in After Effects, which is a nightmare. Then I had to put because I bought a new computer, and I had to buy Adobe CC, a Creative Cloud, which is $650 a year. But with that program, you also you get these incredible things like what is it, Animator, which is what I made this out of or from, and it's difficult. So I was just playing around and seeing what I could do. So then I wrote the story, and then I had to record it like 10 times, rewrite the story, and it takes time. So at least 50 hours. And then you have to find the right music and then get everything to work. So it was.
Wow.
It's an amazing amount of work that you are putting into these. I mean, see how complex it is.
Yeah.
And from all graphics work to the narration to writing the story and everything else. Amazing.
Well, it's fun, Jimmy's here, 6 months out of the year. And so for the other months, I sit around and I write stories, and I'm in my own fantasy land. I can't stand to watch the TV anymore. And so this is what I do. I create my own fantasy world. And it's fun, for me, but now I wrote another story that I'm working on. I just finished the story. And I hope it's not too dumb, but I have to, and that took hours and hours to do. So now I have to find the right music, and I have to find the right special effects. And then I have to get a character again and get the character to move. And then in Character Animator, I have to again talk get the puppet to move, right? It's a nightmare. It's a nightmare. If you don't like doing this, which I do, I love it. So, but if you don't like doing this, forget it, because it just takes so much time. And so you can understand why you see hundreds, if not thousands, of animators when at the end of a movie, at the end of a 2.5 hour movie, and you see, the music's playing, and you see all these names, and you see more names, and the different music, and you see more names and more names. And well, now you can understand. I can understand, because probably even with Star Wars, probably one person did one star. And
She's
when
saying
you
more names? Is that what she said? Okay.
so therefore, so Godzilla, all those special effects that you do, you have one person probably doing one special effect. And that's why you have all of those people. And it's just me. And that's why it takes me so long to do. There
Sure.
you go.
Well, thank you for that. It's definitely an amazing amount of time.
It takes the pros every bit as long. I have a daughter of a friend of mine who was a industrial light manager, and she said there were scenes that were on screen 30 seconds or 45 seconds that they spend days working on.
Sure.
Oh,
Just
yes.
to get this little tiny clip, I'm amazed, Darlene. You're doing a beautiful job.
You can definitely see it's a labor of love, because any project like that involves that kind of time, if you don't love it, it's not going to be doing it, because it's too much time. So,
It's too much time.
if anything else, are so bad today, I'm going to stop. If anybody have anything else that they would like to add. Okay. Thank you, everybody, for coming, and we appreciate your being here. We will be meeting in Green Valley. Please come to the club on the off weeks. Next week, we will be here having our own little fun, as we always do. All right, everybody, thanks so much.